Before we start up, check out the Dork Album Volume 1. You can pre-order it now right off of Indiegogo. Support the channel. Let's do the thing. Learn a little something. Take a lesson. Learn it all.
Yo, this is Dorky Diggity Dave, and today I'm here with Gabriel Frizzera. He is the lead production designer for Realm of Champions, Contest of Champions. You've seen him around. He designs everything that you love. You can't get enough of it. How you doing, bro?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very, very good. So we've got Realm of Champions coming out, and I'm going to try to get as much information from you as I can about that. So I understand we've got a 3v3 PvP and PvE?
Yeah, that's one of the modes. There's more.
There's more.
Yeah.
So, action RPG, all right? Is this, are we talking like Secret of Mana level? Are we talking, League of Legends? Are we talking like, what kind of gameplay are we talking about here?
Okay, so I think the way we think less about, what games would be comparable to, because the way we came about in this game, we created the world first, the story first, and then we look at each other and say, what kind of gameplay, what kind of ideas we want for this game, before we even look at other games. I know a lot of designers look at other games first and they, I want to do something like this, but then I'll put a new skin in it. We didn't do that, so that created a lot of extra work for us, for sure, because you come from a very original place, they had to build everything from scratch, but also becomes more original. So we knew we wanted to do action because that's what we do. We knew RPG elements is part of what we do too. Contest of Champions has a lot of RPG elements, even though it's a very simple experience at the core. So starting from that, and we also wanted to do real-time multiplayer. So that's all the elements we wanted to do. And then we tried a lot of different things to make sure they fit on this universe we're making. And we landed in a very original place. Of course, when people play, they'll remember, maybe it looks a little bit like this or that, but it's not quite anything. It's very different, so.
Okay. So, doing live PvP, this is something a lot of people wanted for Contest of Champions, but in the current system that game is built on, it's not possible here. So, from what I understand, you had to build on a brand new system. So this is newer tech, obviously, and that is giving you the access to net code and all that kind of stuff to create that experience.
Well, yeah, we have a really good core team of programmers that can do all this kind of stuff, but it's hard regardless. The technology evolved, the devices are better, and also the network are better. It's 4G, 5G, whatever, and so because in an experience like that, if you have 6 people playing and maybe 2 of them get lag or they get frozen in time, that the experience goes away, right? Contest, you're right there with the computer. After you load the level, that's it, right?
Right.
So we needed to, if we do that to contest, we have to actually rebuild the game from scratch. It's really a lot of work. So we had to, start from scratch. But it helps that now it's 2020 and everything's better.
Yes,
more
absolutely.
Technology, etc.
Awesome. So let's talk about customization, because that seems like the really big sell on this game.
Right.
So you have 6 levels of customization. Is that correct?
We have 6 parts. So every character has the parts that make sense for the character. So you take Spider-Man, for example. Spider-Man has the bottom, the top. You have the web shooters, and you have the goggles, for example, right? But for Hulk or for Iron Man or for Doctor Strange, it's different parts, because different parts are more important for those characters. So you can take a full set, or you can just mix and match and make your own character. We really want people to create their own Marvel hero, like we like to do. We like to mix and match things and make new heroes. And when we pitched this game to Marvel, a lot of games wanted to do that, and sometimes they don't have the knowledge of the Marvel Universe to create something that won't be like a crazy, ugly experience, right? Because customization, when you give it to the players, sometimes things get really out there, and we don't want to get out of the character. Like Spider-Man, for example, he doesn't wear heavy armor, for example, right? There's no part of Spider-Man character to do that. Or the Hulk who never wear something a bit more formal. He does with Joe Fixit, but
yes.
you know what I mean? Every character has his own seed, and their own character that we, being Super Marvel geeks, we don't want to deviate from that. We don't want to give everybody the same clothes.
Yeah.
It's not a fantasy game that everybody has to wear the same armor. We want to go really down and deep at the characters. So even when players mess it up with it, everything that comes out of it feels like authentic Marvel. And then Marvel, okay, I know you guys understand our universe. We've been messing with it for 5 years now, and it's always pretty on point and authentic. So they give us the really unique chance to create deep customization for those characters because they know we get it. So.
Yeah. So when we're looking at the different houses, so Vishanti, for example, versus the House of the Spider. So when you're customizing, are you customizing from that house, all the levels of that house? Because or can you take a spell casting element from Vishanti and add it to Spider-Man and get like a Cosmic Spider-Man or Mystic Spider-Man or something like that? Is that the level of customization, or is it just locked to a particular house?
No, it's locked for the house. We don't want people to mess it up and dress Spider-Man as Iron Man because it's not what we're trying to do here. We want them to feel like part of a house with the language, with the culture it belongs to them. That said, you can play around many different houses, right? You can have characters in many different houses. Yeah. So, if you want to feel like the Hulk and play with heavy armor with like spikes and skulls and big hammers and stuff, go to the Hulks, right? And follow the storyline of the Hulks. And then you go back. So it's kind of different from Contest in that regard. Contest is about collecting as many characters as you want. In this game, we're playing with the idea of actually giving out the characters to you. And then what you do with the characters is the experience. It's not getting the character.
Awesome.
A character is a body plus all the gear plus the weapon, and then there's yours, right?
So are you is that what you're working towards to get gear in the game? Is that what the play experience is? So basically, because it sounds like you have a campaign and you also have an online element.
Right. We're still playing with different ideas, but yeah, that's one of the things you do in the game. You go after gear. You go after like stuff to make your character better, which is the RPG element, right?
Yes.
But also we're looking at different ways to make you go through the experience. We're still working on that. We want people to experience the whole world and try all the different characters and not be locked to just a single one. You can do it if you want.
Yeah.
If the only thing you want to do is a tank in this game, super tank, go with Hulk. But if you want to try different things, we want to make sure that everybody tries as much as possible. And then as you play the game, you start feeling more attached to a certain house, go for it.
So the 3v3 aspect of it, is that one player having 3 champions versus another single player with 3 champions, or is it 3 people with 1 champion versus another 3 people?
It's 6 people playing, yeah.
6 people playing.
Yeah. But, we might have modes that you play with 2 AIs, or we might have modes that you just play yourself against a bunch of enemies, bosses and stuff like that. But I think the core of the experience is you and 2 friends against 3 other people playing online.
How long are you seeing a match? How long are you envisioning a match to be when you're playing the 3v3?
We're thinking of very short bursts. We don't want people to be like in a MOBA style game that they have to play for 20 minutes. That's not what we want. We want people to play matches after matches and experience all the content. We want quick, you're in the train, you just play for 5 minutes or 2 minutes, that's what we want. Awesome. But that doesn't stop us from doing longer campaigns. We're doing a very flexible system that everything we want to do, we can do.
Awesome. So now the integration with Contest of Champions, because you've already kind of planted the seeds of the story that this is going to be coming out. Right. How do you envision this integrating in that same universe, but operating as 2 separate games? Right.
Contest of Champions been planting this seed for a long time. It's just people didn't notice because we didn't pay attention to that, but it's there. There's a lot, if you see the videos that we did, the story so far and all the stuff, all the history of the Battle Realm is there from the background. And then if you see the very early stories, how Battle World was formed, the Celestial, all this stuff is already planting the seeds for this. There is a lot of stuff that we're about to reveal next year when the 2 games are live, and then you're gonna see how those 2 games connect. But it's always going to be something. We want people to, like, if you just play contests, you're playing here, but you see out of your window there's some battles happening on this other universe. It's like, wow, it's getting pretty close.
Nice.
And then on the other side, you're just like, oh, we're playing here in this world, but our destinies might depend on what people in the other game are doing. So maybe when it comes to time, there'll be a crossover that everybody has to fight to defeat a one big boss. You know, everybody in their own way. If I only play contests, I contribute to fighting that boss. Maybe the guys in Realm will be doing something completely different. Maybe they'll be looking for clues or how to defeat that boss in contest. So we want the two communities kind of to mingle. We have very lofty ideas about how we want to do that. We'll start with small things, of course, and of course people can go in one and go in the other. Maybe they'll get different rewards that can be used in a different game. You know, there are other companies that do that. You know, like we look at like Supercell, how they do Clash of Clans and Clash Royale. It's two different communities, but they feel like they belong in the same universe. You know, could be small like that. The art style is the same. You know, so you know, people look at the other two games and say, okay, maybe I want to check the other one out. Or maybe if you're tired of contests and you want something fresh, you go to Realm, and it's all cool.
And just change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So, speaking of that, so there is that kind of feeling around Arena sometimes, just because it kind of is a little bit monotonous, just kind of going back and forth and putting up those points. So you aim to kind of alleviate that with this game, because the grind aspect wouldn't just be grinding against a computer. It's literally grinding against 5 other people.
It's a bit more satisfying, isn't it? Yeah. I think that the Arena thing, as the game became more popular, you know, it's partly because of that. They drive the numbers really high, and there's a lot of good people that know how to play the game out there. It's really hard to like stop that because people want the characters.
Yeah.
But in the new game, we really want to have more varied experiences, so you can like get gear from all different sources.
Yep.
Yeah, we're still studying that, but there's a lot of different avenues to do that.
Okay. Do you have a demo I can see?
I do actually, but no. No, it's not ready. It's not ready. We don't want to show something incomplete because people might make some conclusions out of something that is not going to be the game. So, you know, we play all the time. And we do have laptops and iPads and iPhones exclusive to do their experience, because online games that you play with other people, you don't know if the game is good until you actually play with other people, right? So in the office, we play all the time among ourselves, and we're really blunt about, you know, is it boring? Is it exciting? Is it Marvel? Because that's very important to us. We don't want to make a game that is exciting, but it doesn't feel like a Marvel game. So there's all those filters that we have to apply, and we play a lot. But, you know, we still have some ways to go, and we don't want to show it to people before we actually have 100% confident that this is the game, right?
No worries. So I have one more question for you. You have a lot of tie-ins with movies, with things happening in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, cartoons, TV shows, all that stuff. With the level of customization that you have here, how are you planning on doing tie-ins in this same way? And like, how would that look with that level of customization?
Right. That's interesting, because when I pitched the game to Marvel, we had that thing. Contest is up there with every event, right? Movies, publishing, all the stuff, we want to be there. We want to be a Marvel Universe game that feels current. For this new game, yes, we want to do that too. When the movie comes out, we want to release content and missions and stuff. But there's more to be done. Contests, we can only release 2 characters. That's it. That's the maximum we can do.
Yeah.
The characters are very intensive to build because we want them to look good. It takes weeks, 2 months to do a character, right? So, but for this game, we can release a character, but we can also release, let's say, is a helmet. Let's say Captain Marvel comes out, we can make Captain Marvel's helmets. So it's you know, the gear. We can make different things. We
Then
can
you get bonus points if you wear it while the movie's out.
we get different powers, you know, and stuff like that. So there's a lot of different things we can do. So we want to connect that to all the different things, but also we want to connect the 2 games. So when something comes out at Marvel, we want the 2 games to be connected and also connected to each other. So if there's a good thing that comes out in contest that we'll be able to use in Realm, we want to bring it to Realm. and vice versa. If there's a character in Realm that is really popular in Realm, we can bake that character into a contest character and make a fighting character in contest. In fact, we're already doing that. We are already picking some characters from both universes and analyzing to see if they would be a good fit in the other game.
Nice.
And maybe as a walk-in, a boss or something like that, they will show up. And we can do bosses too, right? That's the interesting thing. Because in contests, people always say that online, right? How come Dark Phoenix can be destroyed by Black Widow or whatever, like how come Dormammu is not 30 feet tall? So in this game, we can do other things because of the camera, because of the way the game is built. We can make epic bosses, big bosses. We can make people there. You can make Dark Phoenix be fighting against a bunch of people and feel more like the Dark Phoenix we know with the big powers, right? So
is that why that Maestro is so big?
Maestro's dead, man. He's dead. And that's how the game starts. You have to find out who killed the Maestro. Right?
Okay, so now I actually have more questions. What is the view of the game?
I can't tell you.
You can't tell, not top view, over top view?
It's not a fighting game view.
Not a fighting game.
It has different cameras, so I can't say that without making it look like a game that exists. Okay. We're not a MOBA. We're not always looking down at the characters. We want to see the characters from up close when they're being heroic, but also be able to have cameras that pull out so you can strategize with your friends, right? So we have all this stuff going on, and in fact, that's one of the things we're always tweaking because we want to celebrate the characters, but we also want to make sure that you understand what's going on in the layout. So yeah, it's a pretty complicated task right now, so I'm not gonna say it's this or that or this or that because we're trying all different things.
Okay. So you have 6 houses total right now?
8 for launch.
8 for launch.
Yeah.
And there's still room on the map for more realms.
Right.
How many realms?
We do have 15 already designed.
15?
Yeah. In fact, I wanted 15 in the game, but we couldn't do it with the time we have. And then we're going to release them slowly. Even the 8 might not be available to you immediately. You have to start with a few, and then you have to earn it, right?
Okay.
Because that's the way you experience the world. When you grow up, you only know your neighborhood.
Yes.
And then you grow up, you go out in the town, and then you travel to other places, you know other cultures. We want to reflect that. Maybe you're a Hulk, and you're the lowest Hulk there is, right? You're just this new recruit, and you don't have any armor. And then your captain will just tell you like, hey, go in this mission to fight somebody. And then you start earning their trust, maybe you get some armor. And then eventually you'll be good enough to actually be involved in the war. So that's the kind of slow burn that we like, and we can tell a good story, right?
Yes, I like it. It's very exciting. I really love games like this a lot, RPGs, and it sounds like you're trying to give it a visual dynamic that's just not a static, same thing. You're going to experience it in a lot of different ways.
Yeah. And there's no villains. There's no villains too. Every perspective in this map, all the houses think they're right. They all have their own points of view and how they can make this world better, and they fight like superheroes fight sometimes. Even when people were asking me oh, Apocalypse, I love Apocalypse because he's a villain. It's are you sure he's a villain? Because I'm not saying he's a villain. Maybe he's not in this game, right?
Well, the villains are always the hero of their own story.
Of course. Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been absolutely fantastic. I'm super excited about it. You must be excited about it. You started this 3 years ago?
Yeah, I've been thinking about this for years, and then we started writing the story and making the world about 2 years ago, and then we hired the entire new team, in a different building, and then I have to go back and forth because I'm still working on the two games, and it's so exciting for me to see the 2 games blossoming like that as one universe. So yeah, it's been a blast. I'm super tired, but it's been really good.
Do you think you may have to shed one and put full attention to the other?
No, it's more like I've been empowering more of my team to take on some tasks, because I always love to be hands-on on things. Maybe I'm less hands-on in some design or other, but we hire a lot of people in the contest side too, really good artists that, I have full confidence they can take on my tasks, and I'll be just overseeing the overall arch of the story. some stuff I still do. You know, I still do concepts for pretty much every character. But you know, I have to learn to let go. You know, your kids grow up, you know, and you have to, you know, still be their parents. But you know, I can't be involved in every single thing. Contest is running like smoothly, and you know, we have bugs and stuff like that. But in terms of the creative and the art side, the team is just getting better and better at making the characters. And I go to every brainstorm and I say, hey, this is the vision of this character. This is what the elements you need to be here. And I let them run with it, and I think it's really awesome. And stories like the guillotine story, I still write myself, and cut scenes, I still get involved. And so I still like up there, and I still sit on the contest side most of the time, mostly because it's really dark and I can draw. But you know, I'm there on the realm side every day, and I talk to the team, and it's like having two kids, like I said, right? One's the baby and another one's a teenager.
Yes.
They both have different needs, but it's still there, you know, for them. So, and because they're one universe, I want them to be really, when the realm launches, I want contest to be right there and be like, everything will make sense, basically.
Oh, Gabe, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with me, talk about this awesome game coming up. I can't wait, and I know you can't wait either. Do you have any last statements you want to say about the game? Anything maybe I forgot?
No, we're gonna release this game next year, and you know, we're gonna grow it. I think it's important to people to see this as a platform. It's a world that we created that is very fertile with ideas that can go in many different directions. So as we release the first experience, when we release the beta, we want people to go there and play, and we want them to tell us what they think that, you know, where the universe should be and what the universe should go, what kind of part of the experience that they want, because we want that conversation. We have our own ideas, but we want people to like, hey, we like this part of the game, we like this more, and then we can expand, because this world, we built it to last for many, many years, and like Contest, but like even bigger than Contest. So we want the players to go there and try it and give us their opinion.
Okay, so, sounds good. The experience inside had actual voice acting in the game. Can we? And this is another thing that me personally, I really always wanted in MCOC, to have voice actors, have sound effects or have them say things during their specials. Is that something we can expect in Marvel Realm of Champions?
Okay, so we recorded it. We wanted to be prepared, so we had all the Barons, and a lot of those guys that recorded for us, they're really famous voice actors that Marvel uses for a lot of different things. We have Nolan North, we have all those people that are really so good. And then we're just like, we have all those people together, and they're all from LA, and they all have like this community going. It's the first time they actually do a project, all of them in the same, together, right?
Wow.
So we said like, we gotta record some extra stuff. We have them. So we recorded all the dialogue, and recorded a lot of like phrases that they can say it in the game. But that said, it is already a big game, as you can imagine. We're gonna have all this content, all these houses, all this gear, all this stuff, all this world, different environments. So the audio takes memory.
Yes.
We have to make a choice. If you want people to download the game, it can be over a gig or something like that. Once when it comes out, eventually it will become like that. And I think that the sweet spot is usually 100 megs or something like that. So everybody with a bad connection can, you know, try it. So we're still analyzing. I gave them the material here. Here's all the voices. Can we use that every once in a while? You know, maybe when the Baron talks to you or whatever. So we're still looking at that, but we don't want to sacrifice the experience just to have the extra flavor in that. That's my opinion, I guess.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Well, guys, this has been Dorky Diggity Dave. I sat here, had an amazing privilege to sit down with Gabe Frizzera and talking about Realm of Champions. It's going to be a fantastic game the way it sounds right now, and it's probably going to be even better when it comes out. So big thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I can't thank them enough. So remember, stay dorky, and I'll catch y'all on the flip. Wait, did you know it?
I knew it.
You did know it.
I did it.
All right, hold on. We're going to do it again. So remember, stay dorky, and I'll catch y'all
on the flip side.
Learn a little something. Take a lesson. Learn it all.